Oh, yeah, okay. So that's showing up now. And, okay, good. So it's just acting weird. Then go here, here. And yeah, okay. There. Turn that on. Okay. So that's coming through. Yeah, okay. Oh, quiet. Ugh. That's actually a point. I don't have anyone. Oh, I do have a few people hanging out. Hello, everyone. Let me say hello. Hey, Spectre. All right. Let me quickly jump out of this thing. I'll switch here, and that way, at the very least, I can be seen. Oh, not to be seen. Okay. All right. I'm just feeling like my mic is coming through really quietly, so just want to make sure that I've got this set up right. Which I'm braining on. One of those issues of switching between systems and all that. Yeah, no, that one's fine. That's fine. Oh, let's try. Yeah, sorry. Okay, a little louder. Okay. Oh, thank you. It's not my only model too. Ah, I spent some time the other day working on updating to a new model. Well, additional model. And I also am hearing myself speak at the moment, which is breaking my brain. So there, we turn off that mode. Ah, okay. And now I need to make sure EndZone starts up. That's what we're gonna play today. And I have never actually even started this on Steam, so we'll see what winds up happening here. We may have to say nope, nothing's happening, and move to something else. So, but right now, let me get myself a little more comfy. Okay, so game seems to be starting up. Tell me that game. Okay. And then that one's picked up. Yay, Charmander. All right, let me make sure that this is coming through. It is. Hooray! And then, here we go. Let's get this thing loaded up. And then while I'm doing that, and it's starting up, I have time to send out a few tweets. So, yes. Well, I only want to send out one tweet, really. That's the one that says I'm live. This is a repeat of the 1980s. The current trending tweet on my feed is scientific consensus is that the Earth is warming and that climate change is influenced by human activities. You mean the stuff we figured in the 1980s? Got it. Okay. That there. And save that on there. Yeah, okay, cool. And the game's coming through okay for you guys. Let me, however, turn the volume down for me because my brain can only handle so much volume. Okay. Take that down. Wow, they think deaths are gonna happen enough that they have special sound effects for it. Okay. No restrictions. This is generally the first thing I do in a game, is go through and have a look to see what they've got. One of the things I want to do is deal with, thank you. One of the things I like doing is going through and checking out what, the game settings are and such. So, radiation, camera animations, probably will turn that off eventually. We've got that. Okay, so the audio settings are there. And no, my monitor is not that big. I don't know why you keep thinking these things. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, you're gonna have a new DLC eventually. Isn't that great? Oh, well, let's give the tutorial a try. First that happens is I wind up dead. Death. I wind up death? I wind up dead. I wind up dead in the death. Death. Oh, that reminds me. I need to quickly change something. Let's see. So if I go here...
We finally left the end zone.
Here.
Just look at this beautiful scenery.
Turn off
marvelous.
My tits capture
Even
for
though
a
it's
bit.
a bit different from what we had pictured. We were able to secure a few basic resources and are storing them in our bus.
Okay. Let's turn that off, because it's actually running fine without needing that. So therefore, if I clear that queue... Why are you doing that, you stupid POS? Okay. Fine then. Fine. Yeah, wipe myself out. Alright, okay. So what do we got? Finally got an end zone. Finally left the end zone. Look at the scenery, it's marvelous. Blah, 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 blah. You got a few basic resources and stored in the bus. Alright.
I'm glad we prepared ourselves well for this kind of scenario.
What's that map?
Especially since
movement is what I expected.
Ran low. Don't forget that if you need additional information, you can look at our survival guide at any time.
Okay. Middle button, left or right. Okay, so very intuitive for people who have played City Worlds before. Oh, you had ads. Oh. Wow, okay, it was running ads at a weird time then. Okay, so we've got meat and such. So what do we do? Open the survival guide. Okay. Yes, there's a lot to read in here. So gather wood, gather scrap, gather plants, gather everything. Oh, okay. That's a lot nice. Ah, okay. Alright.
Well done. Everything you need to know should be right here. I think the time has come for us to at last build ourselves a new home here.
But what if I don't want a new home here? What if I want it over to the left or something? I guess I'll find out. Okay. Design profession builders, several citizens that take care of constructions. Okay. I need to assign 3 builders. Okay, so I guess, professionals. Oh, okay. So do I just do it this way and they just randomly select?
Your builders will be
Apparently,
ready
yes.
as soon as construction contracts have been issued.
So
it's time to start focusing on our key and
I
most
did
basic
see
need, water.
a little bit about that. I haven't checked the Discord clearly. Still going on. So that's that, that's that. Where's my brain? I know where my brain was, that would be much better. Oh, yes. Yes, I did catch that message. And all I could think of is... Sorry, I flipped around and I saw something on Twitter and my brain went, wait, what? Yeah, I saw the message and, well, all I can think of is... That sounds like a cable company, yeah? So... Yeah. I mean, we have been missing a lot of the regulars, intermittently over the past little while, so... glad it was something... not too problematic. I mean, lack of internet is sucky and, you know, it's extra cash you weren't expecting and so on, but... Oh, okay. So everyone in the cafe is listening to me.
Is to establish a working water supply.
And assuming you're wearing headphones or
We'll move on to
something.
our first construction
And if you're not,
contract.
hey, make them put them up on the big screen and then add to my viewing
in the
numbers.
vicinity of your town center.
Right. Okay. Need to establish a water supply, so we'll move our first construction project, jetty, by a lake in the vicinity of your town. Okay. So, our first construction project, we want to build a jetty. Okay, so we have... Can I rotate this? How do I rotate this? Auto rotate? Hey, that worked. So if it was me, I want it closer to the... There we go. Then I'm going to line that up with that. And so, what are these guys going to do? We're going to do things? Yes, they are. Are they going to do things at any pace? Can I hit the 3 button to speed things up? Yes, I can. Woo!
Very good. The jetty was completed as planned.
Okay.
Now we have a place where we can collect water. There are...
Okay. Jetty, rain collector, or well in the cistern. The cistern should always be in close proximity to a water source so that our water carriers don't have to walk too far. Okay. So, if we have a cistern here, I'm actually going to slap it... You know what? Yeah, let's throw it there. Still chat you all on Discord, so that's why I sent you a friend request. Ah, okay. Ah, yes, yes. Ah, and that is why the friend request. Okay. I have been very careful not to just randomly accept friend requests because of the Discord things lately. Did it just go weird? I think it went weird. It's not showing pending anymore. Yeah, no worries. Feel free to resend it, by the way. Apparently it didn't come through cleanly on me, so hopefully you can get things sorted out, to where you can get your home internet back up again, because it always sucks not having easy access to it. So I'd just like to say that I know I have a few lurkers, and hello lurkers, thank you for stopping by. I'm not going to say their names out because it turns out I can see everyone who's in chat, but I like to give people the benefit to not have to deal with that sort of thing. Oh, so we need some water carriers, so let's add 2 of them. Okay. Sign professionals. Oh, I need 3 water carriers. There's actually a quest for it. Produce 100 water, and it's going to give me 200 water by completing that. Okay. So let's zoom that up a bit. I really should have someone collecting some of this random stuff around here. Apparently I do.
We have now installed
Or are the trees just falling over of their own accord?
And water is now transported from the jetty to our cistern. Consider hiring more water carriers if you don't have enough settlers available. You can never have enough water in storage. Now we should focus on food production.
Okay.
It's important to ensure the supply right from the start.
No worries.
Gatherer's cabin, a hunting lodge, or a fishing hut can remedy the situation. I suggest starting with a fishing hut, since we're already located near a lake.
You want me to start with a fishing hut? Okay. Go. In that case, I need to build a fishing hut, which is going to be here. I'm going to keep it away from my food supply. Okay. Go. And then I need to hire 4 fishermen. How many do I have left? I don't have enough people. Oh, I need to hire 2 fishermen. Okay. There. Okay. So let's speed that up. We're filling the thing. We have no contamination in there, that's good. These animals, no matter what, it's only supposed to be a couple of decades since humans were around or something. No. You're not going to have, especially a herd of deer wandering around, I know, it's all like, oh wow. That's a nice info view. Shows me what the terrain is like in terms of dry or wet. Oh. That's fascinating. Okay. Oh yeah, sure. You feel free to ask about that sort of stuff. I'm quite willing to talk about. Bear in mind that I'm not British, I'm Australian by birth, so I know much more about the Australian government setup.
Good work.
But I do have a basic understanding of the
basic
British setup.
Supplies to your food and water. Make sure that you have enough food and water on hand at all times, especially if you want to upgrade your settlement. A population that grows too fast can quickly unbalance your food and water supply.
Okay.
Crops are another excellent way of getting food because they constantly grow as long as the soil is moist enough. Each seed has different yields and growing times.
So
means that it could take some time until your field is ready to be
given what I'm
harvested.
seeing.
In contrast to your fishing hut, where production can be right away.
Okay. So I need to build a cultivated field. Oh, how big? It doesn't say. So let's just build one. Okay, so there is a max size, apparently. And 16 by 16 is the maximum you can put together. Okay. So if that's a cultivated field, what am I going to plant on it? Design profession, settlers to that profession. Okay. Fields from fields chosen. Okay. Did they chop a tree down that was in the way? Yes, Australia has a parliament. It's a parliamentary system. Well, technically it's a constitutional monarchy. But its primary government is in fact a constitutional, is in fact a parliamentary system. My home state is actually very weird. Queensland is a little strange because the typical Queensland Australian parliamentary system has two houses. The Senate and the House of Representatives, which somewhat mirrors the US congressional system. But it has... Yeah, Queensland actually, I think it's the House of Representatives they shut down in like... Wow, I keep thinking it's like the 30s or 40s or something like this. And they just didn't start it back up again. So... Alright, so let's choose the seed we're going to have. I want something that is... I have no idea what that is. So cabbage is that... Oh, okay, it takes a long time. That takes less. Okay, so let's choose that.
Looks good. Remember that we need the widest variety of food sources to stay healthy. You should also plan ahead for drought periods that might come when it's not going to rain.
Yes,
Stock up on food and adapt your production to avoid bottlenecks.
Okay. Build a production building, but to obtain resources, it's best we start gathering right away. Assign a gather all resources task. Okay. Have been assigned a profession going to accept these kind of tasks, blah 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 blah. Place gather wood task, place gather scrap task. I thought you said you wanted me to place a gather all task. How are we doing with radiation? Oh. Apparently we're horrible radiation people. So... tasks. Oh, okay, so I don't have a gather all at the moment. Okay, so gather wood. Well, the thing is though, for Australia, it actually... For Queensland, it made sense. I mean, it actually had one of the lowest populations of any state. The reason they shut it down was they actually couldn't fill all the seats in Parliament. And so what wound up happening is people, because they couldn't fill it, they actually voted to disband for now. And so the building is there, it's fully operational, it's fully active, it's in fact listed as the building for that, and it's ready to activate at a moment's notice. All the citizenry has to do is decide that we want the House of Representatives back. I think that's what it is. Actually, you know what? This will take me 2 seconds. It's not... It's called Google. Okay, that's the Australian government. Okay, so a quick look. There's the Queensland government one. They talk about the Queensland Parliament. So yeah, it's they list it as a unicameral parliament. It's comprised of only one house. The Legislative Assembly. And they're not talking about it here. So for someone from the US, it's pretty easy to understand the Queensland parliamentary system. It's effectively... Yeah. So they could basically bring it online anytime they want to. The building's there, it's ready, it's all established, the whole thing's there. In terms of the way the system's currently running, it's effectively running like a US state. There's a state legislature that makes all laws, that get signed into law by the state premier, or, you know, in Queensland, or governor in a US state. So that's basically how it's operating at the moment. It has effectively a backup legislative branch that's sitting around twiddling its thumbs. There's actually no one in it at the moment, but all of the services to bring it online are sitting there, right there, ready and available. Which is very strange for when you think about it, but it's the way it works. So. Yeah, it's the way they've run the system, so. You produce 16 wood. I've produced quite a sufficient number of scrap, but okay. Well, here's the thing though. The way the the parliamentary system in the UK and in Australia are both very formalized. There's a formalized process for interruptions. If you don't follow the process, you can be ejected from Parliament.
Since we now have plenty of resources,
it's very strict and specific. But it's also intended to have the discussions on the floor in full view of the public. They're not supposed to be having discussions behind closed doors. That can actually also have someone ejected from Parliament. So you don't have the... Yes, will you shut up? What does he want? He wants a Forester's Lodge. Okay, so let's build him a Forester's Lodge. There we go. I'm going to bring it over. We're gonna put it there. There we go. Okay. Yeah, so in most congressional discussions about legislative documentation, so the laws and so on, is actually done behind closed doors. They read through it, they have their discussions internally in back rooms and things like this. That's just the way it happens in US Congress. It's the way the process has been designed. Whereas in the British parliamentary system and the Australian parliamentary system, it's intended that those discussions are actually done in full view of the public, because they're public servants, and so their decisions need to be made public. But also, people can be called to task for their decisions. So that's the reason why you get things like the opposing house actually like directly asking questions about what's going on and jeering and things like this. And there is literally a formalized method of jeering your opponent in Parliament. It's like highly entertaining. There's certain ways you're supposed to say things that say that you're cheering something on. There's a way to say that you're trying to be rude and nasty to somebody. And then you also get things like PM's question time, which is also a thing that happens in Australia, where any of the members of Parliament can ask questions of the Prime Minister, who is supposed to be the head of government. So they should know the answers to all of these governmental questions. So why did the Minister for Health decide to do this? You should know that, or she should know that, or they should know that. We'll go with they should know that. Then I don't have to mess around so much with the language. And that's the point behind things like PM's question time or something like that, is to allow people to actually get some of these questions asked and also bring some of this discussion out into public. So there's also a formalized process. There's how long they can take to ask their question. There's how much time the PM has to respond. It's very, very complicated. And I only know of the existence of a little bit of this from school. And the rest of it from a British TV show by the name of, what was it? It was originally Yes Minister, and then it became Yes Prime Minister. So it's following a fictional Minister of Parliament in the UK and what they have to do and everything else. And it's all the stuff that goes on behind the scenes is the idea. And it's a comedy. So there's a bunch of stuff where, their aides are saying, okay, you should be doing this, but I can't tell you should be doing this. So I'm going to tell you to do this other thing in a way that makes you go completely opposite of what I said, which means that you will do what I want you to do. And so there's a lot of that goes on in that show, and it's actually quite good. But in terms of what you're saying there, I don't see it. The problem is for that change to be occurring. So the idea, you're mentioning here is that the US Congress is starting to deviate closed doors because of the bill process. They tell the public something, and then they pass it with nothing about what's in there. Here's the problem. This is asking people to believe. Basically, we're telling you this because we're telling you this, and this is what we're going to do, and this is what we're saying, and everything else. Yeah, okay, so where's the bill passed that requires you to do that? And where is its teeth? I mean, this is the issue with Congress people owning stocks and things like that. There's supposed to be a whole process they're supposed to follow. It turns out if they don't follow it, they get like a $75 fine. Okay, so they just made $2 million off selling the stock that they knew was going to tank because of a law that they were getting passed. And then they basically hand over their $75. Where's the... What? How is this allowed. So that's sort of the issue I see with it all is, yeah, okay, you have some laws that do this sort of stuff, but you're not giving them teeth. So, oh, it's illegal, they shouldn't do this. Well, okay, but they did it, and there's no punishment for them. And yeah, I mean, people are gonna people. So if there isn't basically a problem for them involved in the whole situation, they're not really going to care all that much. So let's see. Got to assign somebody for that. Well, actually, stocks do not fall under financial information as defined in the laws that say that you have to disclose your financial information. Because who wrote those laws? The people with the stocks. I mean, what? But the flip side of it, honestly, is actually something I think is more problematic in the US. And that's that the typical... Let's speed up the game, because I want to get into the actual game, because tutorials are generally supposed to be easy. I'm expecting to thoroughly die when I play this game. The issue I have is that Congress critters and such aren't responsible to their constituents. You can't tell me that, what's his face? The idiot with all the, Okay, let's pick a current-ish US political problem. We'll pick Matt Gaetz. You can't tell me that... Oh, okay. I can do that. I can. Oh, yes. It's actually telling me it's an ad in progress. How wonderful of it. Okay. Why is that so dry and this is not dry? It should be raining sometime soon anyway. Is there any attractiveness here? Oh! Turbine. Storage deeper, scrap files. Wow, okay. So Twitch is telling me that you should be back from the ad, so... Okay. So... I was talking about how I think that the issue is that people in government in the US aren't directly responsible to their constituents. So what I mean by that is, let's just have a look at some of the current members of Congress who are causing problems, let's say. I was originally going to say Matt Gaetz, but I actually thought of someone who's actually better. Let's talk about Ted Cruz. I am not in Texas. I don't live in Texas. I don't know what Texans actually think of the guy. Well, actually, I know what some Texans think of the guy. So here's the issue. Actually, Marjorie Taylor Greene is the exact type of person who fit in for what I'm sort of talking about. Marjorie Taylor Greene is a good choice. So when we talk about her, in terms of the things that are basically going on, so apparently it's supposed to be raining, but I'm not seeing... It was raining, but it stopped raining. Okay. Well, let's just talk about one person. If we look at Green, and we look at the people who've officially voted for her, like her... I keep thinking constituency in terms of seat in Parliament, but yes, her constituents. How vocal are her constituents? At the moment, they're quite vocal. To the point of there's a actual lawsuit happening against her in terms of basically denying her the ability to run again because of her connection to things. They're doing a 14th Amendment challenge against her. And just to be clear, while I have very specific political leanings, in this discussion here, I'm not talking about my political leanings. What I'm talking about here is how do the people of her, how do her constituents view her? How do the people who are actually supposedly represented by her think about her? All of the reports I'm seeing suggest that the majority of people in her area do not like her and do not want her to be representing them. But she gets to sit as their representative until her term expires. The only way she could lose that is if Congress decides to impeach her. So, where is the incentive for someone like her?
Good job.
To,
you might want to change this building's working.
If she wants to do something major,
to tell your workers
she should do it right at the beginning of her term.
And for your information, if you want, you can
do enough stuff during the term that she gets enough people to come out and vote for her next time, and then do it again.
Create a lush green forest.
And she could keep that up and stay in power in her seat. So that's something to think about with the way the system works here. If you look at it from the perspective, though, of the Australian system, if your member of parliament decides to screw shit up right at the beginning of their term, they can have a recall election happen almost immediately. It's not even a recall election, actually. What it is it's a basically the populace issues them a writ of no confidence. That's not actually the term for it, but sort of the basic idea is that the populace makes enough of a stink to the Electoral Commission that the Electoral Commission steps in and says, okay, you are going to step down and we are going to hold a by-election for your seat. You are allowed to rerun because you weren't disqualified, but you have to defend yourself now. So, let's see. What's the thing here? So you might want to do this, changes back in this thing, tell your workers where they can get their wood from. Your information, you'll tell your forest lodge they only ought to attend to reforesting an area. Oh, okay. So, scrap is one of our most valuable resources, limited. and other resources like that. Scrapyard allows larger quantities of existing scrap to be dismantled. Okay, so now we need to build a scrapyard. This is very familiar. There's a game that I've played previously called was it The Aftermath or something like that? That has a very similar sort of process to this. I actually don't think you need to have limits on time served for any political office. What you need to have is appropriate limits on people's power. What they can do to affect their ability to get re-elected. So I mentioned earlier that you can go in Australia to the Electoral Commission. That is a non-partisan organization in Australia that has veto authority. It's basically an extra governmental office. Now, it reports into the Governor General. And this is where having an actual monarch and so on can be really helpful. Yes, we're going to have a draft. That's nice. So, So the Electoral Commission reports in to the Governor General's office, and all they're doing is basically saying, this is how we followed the Constitution of the country. So it's very much a constitutional base. It's what the Supreme Court in the United States is supposed to do. But you can just look at the people who have gotten on the Supreme Court from whichever side and make your determination from that as to whether or not they're actually following the Constitution in all cases. And I would argue that they're actually not. And I'm not even gonna, it doesn't matter which side you're looking at it from, both. And I say sides because the US's election system forces a two-party system at the end of the day. Which is something else that I think really needs to change. And I need to quickly check on VCFace because it's doing something weird. So, give me a quick sec here. Where's my eye settings doing that? The link settings are picking up a little bit too much. Let's bring that up. Let's bring that down. That's looking better. Okay. So if you look at how the jeez. So if we sort of take into account that Australia has an organization whose whole job it is to make sure
you can change the
this
working
blathering
area
about.
for the scrapyard too.
How do we do
recycle
that?
scrap into 4 additional resources: cloth, metal, plastic, and electronics. We'll do that shortly.
Okay. Oh, now I'm allowed to give them somewhere to sleep. Oh, that'd be nice. They probably would have been wanting that a while ago. And yes, pressing shift does in fact add the option for that. How many do I need to build? 8. Okay, so we're gonna put them back to back. Okay. down and reforest. Change further work. Can I expand it? No, I can only select. Okay. Okay. So Australia has two benefits for it. First one is it has the Electoral Commission, which is a non-partisan organization. And by non-partisan, I literally mean if you work for them, even as a volunteer, which they do have volunteers options when it comes to election time, you are not allowed to have any ties to a political party within the country. You can't donate to them. You can't even be like connected to them on Facebook type thing. Very much it's a you are not connected with a political organization. So yeah, we should have that, but before we have that, there is something far more important. And this is something that is being... The idea to move towards it is there's a movement within the country to ban this type of election. And that is the runoff elections. So basically, I've always known of it as the Australian parliamentary electoral system. But apparently, because we're talking about things in the US, we're not allowed to use that term. So, what's it? It's... there is an alternative to it. So the first past the post system is the one that we're using at the moment. Let me see if I have a look quickly. That one's that thing. And of course it's not going to show it to me. Anyway. CGP Grey did a video on it. But very simply, this system is... The system I'm talking about is the Australian system, and what it does is you are required to rank all choices on your ballot. So ranked choice voting, that's what they call it here. So you rank the people on your ballot, and what they do is they look through everyone who got first place. And they rank everyone in first place. So when they count the ballots, the first thing they do is they rank everyone who got first. And they then take all of those votes, and they look at who is the candidate who received the least number of first place votes. That person's votes are then taken and recounted. So whoever is second on that person's ballots, that vote now applies to. So what that means is you actually wind up having the ability for a more minority candidate to actually wind up succeeding when you have multiple people voting. You also don't wind up having the system where somebody votes for a candidate that nobody really likes, so that person may as well not have even gone to the polls. So, which is the US system at the moment. If your candidate is not got a chance of winning, you shouldn't be voting for them. Is the current US system. And I think that's actually terrible. There's a few places that are changing to ranked choice voting, or have changed to ranked choice voting, And there's a certain political party that has been doing legal challenges to the legality of this type. And the reason why is really simple. If you want to defeat an opposing political party in a first-past-the-post system, you provide one candidate, and then you actually provide multiple other candidates for the other side. And that splits the vote for the other side. And so even if there may be, 80% of the voters in a district would prefer to deal with the other party, because that 80% is split between, let's say, 10 different candidates, no one of their candidates has more votes than your 20% vote. And that's how you take a system like that. I'm not going to argue with the efficacy of it. It works. That's how it works. It, however, does mean that the populace is not properly represented, which is against what the Constitution is intended for. The intention is that people will be represented. It's the whole point behind why the US was founded in the first place. That whole no taxation without representation bollocks that we're all taught. I guess even as an Australian, I was taught that was why the US was founded. I'm not a historian, but we could argue about whether that's the case or not later. What's this guy?
You can also provide sturdy houses and shelters.
Sturdy houses withstand sandstorms
better. Withstand sandstorms better, and have an increased storage capacity to boot. Children living in houses gradually fill up the house's stockpiles. Settlers do not reproduce in a shelter because they lack privacy.
Okay, but do they reproduce in a cabin? Recycler, refinery, scrap can be sorted. Recycler. Build a recycler and produce cloth. Okay. So let's grab a recycler here. I'm gonna slap it down here. Actually, let's cancel that. Put that in here so we have a space around it. If I could build roads, which doesn't seem to be an option here. Oh, I can build roads, but I need to have the ability to do it, and they're not going to give it to me just yet. I would actually build like little pathways and that around so people are easier to move through. So the whole point behind ranked choice voting, and why I think that's really important, is ranked choice voting does something that you don't see in US politics. It causes a segmentation of political views to actually be represented in politics. It means that your Democratic candidate has to appeal to Republican voters to some extent, and vice versa. Your Republican candidate has to appeal to Democratic voters, because while it's possible in some areas for that candidate to basically sweep the whole field and take everybody, if you have enough candidates in an area, just population-wise, you can lose your seat even if you're generally a shoo-in, because you didn't appeal to those people who are voting green or socialist or whatever it might be. I mean, there's a whole bunch of other parties that are out there that we don't talk about because they almost never get seats. And then, of course, you have, what about the independent? What about the independent who doesn't care about being a Democrat or being a Republican? All they care about is representing their constituency. If you get someone like that in a very staunchly held seat for somewhere, if you take a seat that's usually seen as a Democrat seat, then and you get this independent who comes in, is well known in the area, is well liked by people, knows the issues that the actual citizens of the region need help with, and has actually shown that they're willing to do stuff for it, they'll sweep the board unless they're in a first-past-the-post system. Because an independent will never get a vote in such a system. People will only vote for the Democrat candidate or the Republican candidate. So you're forcing people to join one of those two political parties if they want to represent the people. And then the problem they have is that those parties have rules that say things like, you have to vote this way if we tell you to. So that sort of comes to killing the first past the post system and replacing it with ranked choice voting will do the biggest change to the US political landscape of anything else that's ever been done. And so that's sort of, that's sort of my, I'm going to say short rant on that, because I only spent about an hour blathering about that. So. Okay. All right. Yeah. Though I think I'm more of the opinion that I'm less worried about, cloth produced, 204. Oh. That's right. What's it supposed to be producing? Okay, it's set up to produce cloth. Well, I didn't have to do anything. There we go.
You can instruct your recycler to produce a different resource at a time.
Okay, if you want to produce that. Okay, cool. Taylor would help us with that. So let's get some... Wait, what? Why was that flickering? Oh. How do I get rid of that? Is there... I know I saw something about that. Okay, so I can't do that right now. What's messed up is that if you're blue or red in Congress, you're paid by your party to vote for other people in your party, and you can't vote for the other party. Well, I would like to agree with that, except we have seen in the past couple of months that that doesn't actually matter. I can think of 2 specific Democrats who have shown that that's bollocks. So I would like to say that I agree with you. But yeah, no, apparently, you're allowed to ignore that if you want to. It's selective. If it's selective and not applied properly, then we shouldn't be talking about it as if it's applied to everybody like that. That's just when it ceases to be an actual valid generalization, then you wind up running into the issue of not being able to address a specific issue because you're talking about it without you're talking about it in such a way that the edge cases that are obvious aren't seen, and so people don't want to address it because of the cases in which it doesn't apply. So to step back from politics, there's a video on a YouTube channel called Technology Connections that talks about the problems of the what if. And the thing he talks about there is switching out traffic lights for LED traffic lights. They are the best option overall. Switching out incandescent traffic lights for LED traffic lights saves the city or the state money. It reduces problems in terms of maintenance. Generally means that your stuff sits around longer. We're about to have a Twitch ad, which I can't snooze. And it also, they're easier to see, they're easier to read, all sorts of things. Except, in some conditions, they're unable to be viewed. So, because if it snows, the temperature on them gets weird and they don't necessarily work correctly. And we have an ad going from what I'm seeing here, so I'm gonna stop talking now for a bit and get back to playing the game. So, right. Tractor. Scrap it out there. There. That. Okay, table shop. Alright, so. Resources, tailor shop. I'm gonna put that this way. What do we got here? Then I'm gonna need to assign a worker as a tailor. I put something here. Yes. Okay, fine. Then we need to produce neck scarves, apparently. Alright, let's just figure that and let that go. I don't want stuff down, but I don't have anyone to do things. Alright. Oh, okay, you're back. Alright. So I was talking about traffic lights and the what if scenario.
Into 4 levels. Low radiation, low level,
okay.
Medium level, and high level radiation.
Okay. So we need a recycler. And okay. So recycler. Can I fit that in? Okay, it doesn't really fit in there, so let's switch that, put that the other side of that. We'll take a workshop, and that one actually does fit there. Good. So I need to assign somebody, instruct the recycler to produce metal. Oh, okay. So I have one doing one thing and one doing another thing. Okay. And, yeah. So let me finish doing... I don't have any more settlers there. Do I not have somebody here? Yeah, let's stop you there and put you there. There we go. Who have I got doing what? Let's get rid of all the builders here and add another person as the workforce there. No. Okay, there. Alright, so LED is better for visibility, it's cheaper, it's lower maintenance, all these sorts of things suggest that it is a much better system than normally get. But in extreme cold temperatures, the LEDs can fail to function. It's a known flaw in the technology. So, there are a number of states and cities in the US that, as of the time the person produced the video, were not using LED traffic lights. Just blanket, don't use them. Because of the what-if scenario. So, they were taking the generalization that in some cases this is going to be a problem, and did that as a sweep across everything. Instead of looking at what's the actual problem and how much does that particular issue matter. So, the solution is to install LED traffic lights. And the reason why? Well, it turns out when it's cold enough that the LED traffic lights stop working, incandescent lights can't be seen at all because it's a blizzard and the traffic light is covered in snow. It's basically if it's cold enough that the LED doesn't work, you're dealing with such an edge case scenario, and LEDs produce heat when they function. So as long as you're running them, they generally produce enough heat to keep them functioning. And yeah, so what you do is you just install them anyway. Because in the long run, you wind up saving money. Okay, so a couple of times people will pull up into an intersection with a traffic light and there is no traffic, it's just not functional. So how do you deal with that? Well, in the state I'm in, California, there's actually a law that says what you do in that situation. It's in the traffic handbook. It's part of the traffic manual. What you deal with it? What you do is you treat the entire intersection as a four-way stop. As long as you do that, it's fine. It's no big deal. The light doesn't work at the moment. Okay. No biggie. Yeah, so, and it's a pretty common traffic law. If the lights are out, you treat the whole thing as a four-way stop. So here's the thing. If you're in a state that wants to introduce those traffic lights, and you don't have a law about what to do if the traffic lights are non-functional, just produce a law to tell people what to do. Advertise it. Hey, here's this new law coming out. If the traffic lights don't work, you treat it as a four-way stop. And everyone goes, shit, isn't that what we were doing before? Because that's what everyone else does. And then you install the LED traffic lights. And you wind up, by installing them, putting money in your bank because you're not screwing around with incandescents. And in fact, LEDs are so power efficient that there are entire intersections in various countries around the world. I haven't seen them installed in the US myself, so I don't know if they're used in the US, that they run the intersection off solar. Literally. They have a couple solar cells on top of each of the light poles that fill a battery bank, and it just runs that way. So, yeah. New Jersey solar on the lights? Well, here's most light systems, you can't actually generate enough solar to run the lights to, when they need to at all times. So what you do is you use the solar to offset what you pull from the grid. Now, as solar efficiency gets up and battery technologies get up and all those sorts of things, that'll actually improve over time. And again, that's another example of sweeping generalizations not really holding up when you think about what the reason you're trying to do something is for. So, okay, so droughts are a pain in the neck. Apparently even lakes piss off when you get a drought. Instructor workshop to produce metal tools. Okay, so this here, there, produce a metal tool. There we go. So if you take the tact of, well, we're going to install this and then we won't need to, you know, we'll be able to run the entire thing off that, it won't work because at the moment we don't have the technology. But if you look at it from the perspective of, if we install this stuff, when the technology improves that it will be able to power the lights entirely, then we already have the infrastructure in place and we just need to replace the components that need to be replaced to do the to enable that. It's like installing solar on your house. If you happen to live in a detached house, or even better, if you happen to live in a condo or something like that, where you know, multifamily dwellings or anything like that, where there's just, you have roofs everywhere. We should be putting solar on the roof of every building in this country. And people will go, but, you know, solar efficiency is only like 20% of the sunlight. Yeah, and? That's 20% of the sunlight falling on every roof in the area. How much power is that going to generate? And how much is that going to reduce our need on fossil fuels? And how much is this going to save us all long run? So, you know, they're expensive to install, all this sort of stuff. I get all of those sort of arguments. But again, a lot of that comes down to thinking about things in terms of the general thing of how does this impact me? Well, it won't help me very much. But will it help you at all? I mean, there's some things we should be doing with solar that we're not doing in most of these cheap installs that happen in people's houses. I'm going to call them cheap installs because the place I'm at now got solar before I moved in, and the solar install was probably done by a couple of drunken monkeys on a weekend at night with no access to any actual valid equipment. So yeah, it's there and it's functional and it meets what it was supposed to meet, but could it be better? Absolutely. But the biggest thing they could have done, and this is the reason why I talk about it as a cheap install, put some battery in. Have the solar charge batteries, and when your batteries are full, dump the power to the grid. And then what do you use the batteries for? Well, you have a couple of circuits in the house that run on battery. Your fridge. Your, some of these things. So but the thing is, they don't need to do this. This is the flip side of things. If every building just put solar on their roof, it's not a huge amount per building, but at the moment, we're wasting money and time doing things like what you're talking about. Laying waste to entire woods, forests to put in solar. Well, I'd much rather the trees, to be honest, because the trees are much more, provide more of a benefit to the environment than you get from having solar panels up. Because the trees will pull more carbon out of the environment than you will cause to be thrown into the environment by using power otherwise. And so it's sort of let's do the little bits that we can do. I live in a house. My house has a roof. Put solar on that roof. Have the solar charge batteries. And then what you can do is you can have those batteries supply power to the important things in the house. And if you have a power glitch, guess what? Those things stay running because of the batteries. Not for a very long time, but there are places like after some of these storms where, people were out of power for 2 weeks. Well, if they had the solar on their roof charging batteries, they might be able to keep their fridges running. And so they keep their food safe. That's the type of thing that we need to be thinking about seriously. I honestly, if these large office buildings don't put them on there, they don't care. And why do I not care? Because I don't really think that those large office buildings should exist in the first place. They only exist because a bunch of managers don't bother to pay attention to the science around management. And the management science basically says that we should be actually letting people work from home. So well, the problem is I don't actually, to me, I don't care how much money you save if you destroyed a forest. That forest was doing something for the environment. Did you replace the forest? Because if you didn't, you've just made the environment worse. And that's sort of the issue with a lot of the way we practice a bunch of stuff at the moment. Location attractiveness. Okay, so we got the moisture coming back. Yeah, good. I don't know, but I can guarantee you it's not done. I can also guarantee you that most forestry companies, the ones that are still in business, that have been in business for, you know, more than 50 years at this point, they are some of the greenest organizations out there. Because they know that if they chop a tree down and they plant 4 more, by the time they come around to chopping trees down in the areas they planted those trees, they have 4 trees to chop down. They want more land so they can plant more trees, not because they want to chop more trees down. Most of them don't actually want to deal with old growth trees all that much. Because old growth trees are a one-off sale. But if you can sell new growth, you wind up putting money in your pocket. Forestry is one of the most environmentally friendly primary industries on the planet. And I always find that funny because you hear about the environmental activists who are out there interfering with forestry work, and it's like, guys, go deal with the mines. They're far more problematic. Go deal with you know, some of the other primary industry stuff. That's deal with oil drilling, deal with mining. That's your problems, because those, once they're done, they're done. And a lot of those actually will wind up massively damaging the environment for a very short financial reward for them. And then they leave the environment thoroughly damaged and leave, because there isn't anything requiring them to backfill. Now, I'm talking about things from the US perspective. If we look at a lot of European countries and how they deal with things like mining and so on, they require a lot of restorative work. So if someone goes to mine an area, they have to return it to the way it was before they started mining. Which means most mining companies won't touch those areas, which is exactly what we want.
Tools from scrap instead of metal. Though they won't be quite as effective, it's still better than being forced to work with bare hands.
Yes, okay, fine.
Down in the EndZone, we had sufficient time and resources to educate ourselves properly. But our children don't have this luxury. We ought to build a school and pass on what we've learned. As a result, they will be able to survive and work better.
I'll let this guy
more
bother for a bit.
effectively.
What to build a school? Okay, cool. So we're going to build a school and we're going to put a thing in. So I'm going to find... Put the kitchen. School, okay. I'm going to throw the school in here. And then we're going to hire a teacher. Have anybody available to be a teacher? So we're going to start someone being a water carrier, and we're going to put in a teacher. Okay. That may be the case, but who does that law apply to? Because I know it doesn't apply to me as a regular citizen. If I chop down a tree on my land, I'm not required to plant a new one. But who does it apply to? So that's sort of the issue, is if it only applies to forestry companies. Sorry, I love VC Face. It's so much more responsive than VTuber Plus. At least in some things. Me, because I'm bored. Okay. Yeah, I got tits working. So I have my tits now. Okay. I had people who said they were going to come and bully me, but they didn't. So, thank you. Yeah, forestry companies, maybe when they started, they needed to have...
It has a nice pickle.
There you go. Yes, apparently Spacey has a nice pickle. Oh, that one's still in there? Sorry, let me refund that one for you. Because that one's not supposed to still be in there. I turned off ENVtuber Plus, so that one won't trigger, and neither will some of the other ones from that. So let me quickly go through and make sure it's there. Turn that one off. That one's off, that one's off. That one's off. Okay, so if I go back here, if I go here, say reject. That gives you the points back. And that... Okay, I need to figure out what's going on. Tid's not supposed to do that. Okay. Well, thank you for finding the one that I missed. I intend to add in some of the stuff, but the reason for it... Actually, let me check. Is that in there? Is that in there? Oh, that's why. Yeah, now that's set up. I have a redeem in the list that is currently valid. That doesn't work with ENVtuber Plus.
Perfect.
So,
besides the fact that educated children work more effectively, we'll also teach
Yeah.
them to be more careful with their protective clothing and tools. This, in turn, leads to them staying intact longer, and we conserve valuable resources.
yeah, okay.
Now,
Gatherer's cabin will enable us to gather mushrooms and berries from the forest. Okay, so let's slap one of those guys down. He's not under resources, so it must be under food. See, I was right. Oh my goodness, there's a lot of stuff back here. Can I just, like, drop this in here? Oh wait, can I put it down and then tell it to work elsewhere? Because that would be more efficient. Yeah, there's a lot of places that are becoming endangered. I mean, honestly, we need all of our environmental biomes on this planet. We need our forests, we need our wetlands, we need our sweeping plains, we need even the deserts. These things are all necessary biomes for the diversity of life that we have on the Earth. And something me, as I am, finds very important. And not all forests are the same, and that's another thing. We can't just treat all the forests the same, because they're not. How they all interact with their environments is very different, so... Oh, this is interesting. Ooh, interesting location. Oh, no, I don't want to do that. I want to send an expedition over to it to find out what the hell's going on. What do we got here? Not built yet. Okay. How's that water doing? It seems to be doing okay, so let's keep filling that up. Is there anything people can do on the jetty other than just hang out and collect water from that? Honestly, I think it's important for people to understand their politics. Understand why systems are the way they are. Because if you don't understand how the system is the way it is, and what's caused the things in the systems, you don't really understand how we can change or improve them. So even if you want to have, some different differences, you really can't if you don't. Oh, we've got more settlers now. Yes. I'm going to up that up. That as well. I'm going to add another forester. And what do the technicians work at? One thing there. We got as many refineries as we want. Okay. Okay. So, can I position? Yes, I can. Okay. So the building is there, but they work mostly in this entire region. Okay.
Very good. As you can see, the gatherer's cabin is an effective possibility to get food quickly. But watch out. After a drought, it's going to take some time before the plants have regrown, as is the case with most buildings.
Yes, I already figured out how to relocate. If we lay out an orchard, okay, so let's do that. Okay, orchard. Oh, interesting. Unfold one of these. So how wide can I make it? Okay, so the biggest you can go is 16 by 16. Okay, good. So we can slap an orchard down. And we're about to have an ad break. So what else have I got going on here? I'm getting announcements about things. Okay, so that's me going live. Okay, that's good. That was that one. Okay. Really wish people would not start spamming Russian in Discord servers I'm in at the moment. It seems sort of tone deaf given the current situation elsewhere. Choose the seed. What do we want to plant? Okay, so I guess I get to have plants.
The orchard has been laid out, and the trees are already beginning.
Okay. This is a really long tutorial, just to mention. And they can be consumed by players to replenish their health. Okay, so let's add a herbalist hut. Do that. And then make sure we supply somebody to it. And then, yeah. Okay. And we're back. Ooh. I love that emote. Yeah, I need to find who the, furry emotes always look cool. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's really important for people to understand, how things got the way they got properly. But to be honest, we're being taught not to at the moment. And I don't really want to say, I don't want to say why or anything, but yeah. Okay. Our water level is climbing. That's good. Oh, can I deal with that radiation yet? No. Okay, screw you then, hippies. Honestly, I have no idea where that came from. There's a thing, so... Huh. Game save. Da-da. Yeah, this game's a lot slower than I sort of expected.
Well done. We can equally utilize the gathered herbs to convert them into medicine later on.
Alright, okay. Great deal of charcoal, we need a charcoal kiln. Stop telling me about how to deal with other radiation and let me actually get ways to properly deal with radiation. You... There! So, there's the school, that's the housing. Okay, let's build a charcoal kiln. I don't want to shove it in with everything. Let's put it back on that. Okay. And then assign somebody to the charcoal burner. And I don't understand the point behind that because we're not running any sort of water filtration or anything, so... yeah. Soil moisture is dry, soil moisture is dry. I do like how rain sweeps across the map as opposed to just being there at all times. Like, it doesn't just rain over the entire area, it does sweep across the map. That's a nice feature. So... Hey, Citrus! Oh, wait. I need to adjust that. And I've had... I've seen that. I need to... So, position... Let's bring that over. People have long names, you see. What happens if I do this? That's not bad, but let's bring that over a little bit further, and then hopefully that should grow from the right-hand side once it places. Okay, around about there. people do have long names, yes. And I want to make sure that I have enough space for people's names to show up. So, and how have you been today, Citrus? Oh yeah, currently the world is safer than it's ever been in history. And that goes for everything from prepping VC face for the interview. Oh, interview? Interview with... I knew you were going to do one, but... Have an interview with Meldus today and Squirrel tomorrow. Oh, okay, cool. What time's your, interview with Squirrel? Ah, okay, Spectre. Thank you for stopping by. Make sure you head out when you need to. 8 PM CST, so that's between 5 and 6-ish. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. Ah. Well, that'll be good too. We do miss you when you're not around. That's the thing. I mean, I don't know if people realize it, but a lot of us streamers actually do pay attention, not just to the people who speak in our chats as well. I mean, we do pay attention to the names that show up in our local list. And we have a tendency of recognizing it and seeing the people around, and even if some of us are a little slow to remember where we saw the name before, it's pretty common for us to go, oh, I know who that is. So just thought I'd mention that as a, yes, we do track, at least in our own heads. So let's see what we got. It goes, there it is. I got something coming through here. What are you complaining about? Am I not producing things? Oh no, I've been set to produce something. Okay. Yeah, Eva has been quiet on Discord lately. But I'm sure she will be happy to hear from you. Wow. She's doing okay, but any more than that, I don't want to, it's up to her to tell people where she's at. So reach out and I'm sure she'll let you know what she wants you to know. She did talk about some stuff on her stream as well, so I don't know if you can download VODs, but you could always do that while you were waiting for things. Honestly, here's the thing. I had VTuber Plus before, Citrus. I've now switched over. I see a Mishia mode. I switched over to trying out tits, and it gets to have fun things like this. Hey Neo dude, how you doing? But yeah, I much prefer using tits for this. But you do lose a few things. I mean, I don't have the hydrate redeems anymore. I don't have the
Great. We can
throw
use
things at, you know, the things fall on me,
to purify our water.
the splash. I've got some things that I think might work for that, but I literally just spun up tits yesterday.
For this capability.
So, Spectre, if you can download VODs, what you might want to do is download Eva's previous VOD, her most recent one. And then you can watch it and catch up on what she's doing. So you happen to be at a thing, so let's see. So is Tits the program where enough items will throw you off the screen? Yes, but VTuber Plus could do that as well. So they're getting benefits usable for both. Tits has an advantage that it's easier to add items to Tits. You don't have to create Unity assets and import them. You can actually directly import models. And so I'm going to be going through my back catalog of 3D models that I've made for other things. And we might start seeing some stuff showing up there. I need to figure out how to colorize them, though, for Tits, which I think means just pull them into Blender and add colors that way. I'm probably going to be swapping out a lot of the stuff for some of my hobby parts, so people might be throwing miniature Steam engines at me shortly. So, in answer to your question there about is it newer and more user-friendly, the answer is no and yes. So, Tits was there before VTuber Plus. Tits stopped getting updated for a while, so people thought it was basically going to go out. And VTuber Plus came up. Easier on the RAM? Honestly, I don't know. I have 32 gigs of RAM in my machine, so I rarely have to look at what the RAM usage is of something. But what it does do that VTuber Plus doesn't do is it will work with 2D models. So if you have a live 2D or a PNG, you can integrate it with Tits. You can't with VTuber Plus. At least not without doing some weird bouncing around. And if you're running VCFace, so here's how VTuber Plus works. You have to output the data from VCFace into VTuber Plus, and VTuber Plus shows you the whole thing. Whereas Tits is actually an overlay for your OBS. So just to quickly have it show up, you'll see that pink outline of a person. That's the Tits target, and that screen is an overlay. So what Tits does is it interacts with VCFace. And so when you throw something at me, VCFace gets told to cause me to bounce back. So that's how that interaction works. So it also does it with 2D models as well. So if I was running a 2D model, it would do a similar interaction. So it does have a bit of an issue when it comes to clearing the redeem queue. And I'm not sure if there's... I need to go back and look through it. In terms of which is the better right now, okay, quickly, what have we got? Use charcoal with filtration system or something. Only the water tower has the necessary equipment. Okay. We should upgrade the system. Okay, so let's see. If I take this and I say upgrade to water tower, they're going to go ahead and do that. I need to build another recycler. And I need to produce plastic. Okay, so we're going to take this as well. This one here quickly. We'll take another recycler. It goes that way. That's going to squeeze in wrongly. So let's bring this here. That'll build there. We should actually have 3 workers now. 3. Yeah, there we go. Oh no, that's the refiner. Don't need 3 people in the refiner. I want... Oh no. Yeah, oh, I do want 3 people in the refiner. Okay. And then we need to assign some more people as water carriers. And we're building that recycle. Okay, so in terms of the two, VTuber Plus is cheaper by $5, I think. VTuber Plus is available through Steam, so it's portable, moves across, you don't have to worry about weird licensing or anything else. Tits doesn't have that issue, it doesn't have that connection to Steam. So that's not something that's available that way. Let me quickly pull up VTuber Plus. How much are they selling it for at the moment? Well, currently it's on massive discount. It's less than $5 on Steam at the moment. Wow, they actually jumped that up. They took that up to $8 in price, and then they dropped it down to $5 when it's on Steam. Okay, that's just strange. Okay, but in terms of functionality, Tits is $15. So 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. For me, let me start that up, because I can start it up and it will... Okay, how's that going? They're still doing things. Let's speed that up a little bit. So I've been doing a lot of talking, which I'm fine with, but let's go back here to my library and then pull up this, launch it, and then I can check the memory and RAM usage between the two, and tell you that as well. So, recycle's built, so let's pause that, switch that over to plastic. Water from a well is never contaminated by radiation, so it's just served that purpose. Then we use the remaining charcoal to produce better clothing. So now I need to build a well. You know, wells are a problem because they're a whole lot of water. I am actually going to put these side by side right here. Okay. And then we assign somebody to be a well keeper. And then we activate the filter on the water tower. And then we're done. And we have no radiation in water at the moment, so not worried about that. Okay, so I have VTuber Plus started. So there is a way to have the tits and this interact. It's sort of weird. What you could do, if you wanted to run both of them, because you wanted all of the features, is you can run VTuber Plus and have its model information updated from VCFace and have VCFace send the information over. So TITS does its interaction with VCFace, VCFace then sends the information to VTuber Plus, and then VTuber Plus can do the extra things that you want to have happen. The problem I have is I want my redeems to work no matter what model I'm running, so I'm actually going to make as much of it happen through TITS as possible, because it works with 2D models right now, and eventually it will. Eventually VTuber Plus will allow it, but until it does, if you're using both, I would recommend TITS. But let's have a look and see what the memory's usage and so on. Only really need to do. Gotta look that up. I've never even heard of it. Oh, VTuber Plus, you've never heard of it. Let me quickly swing that over here. Let me do this, which is going to make everyone's eyes fall apart because of all the random icons I'm running across the bottom of my screen. Okay, so let's see, bring the UI back. This is the thing where you could, you know, splash water on me, throw a bucket on me, confetti, all that sort of stuff. And then there's the random stuff. So that one's all of that. With that up, though, what are we doing here? So let's have a look. So VTuber Plus, it's 3% of my CPU and 570 megabytes. So let's say 600 megs used. TITS is 2.1% and 218 megabytes. So TITS is better on system resources, straight up. So, in terms of everything else, TITS is better, less CPU, less memory. So, yeah, basically everyone was using TITS, and then VTuber Plus came out because TITS wasn't getting updated. And yeah, it's very clear as to why you would want to use TITS over VTuber Plus. So yeah, TITS has gotten a few updates in the past little while, so it's definitely receiving updates at this point. There's nothing in there at the moment that suggests to me that there's nothing that would suggest to me that you wouldn't want to use TITS, aside from one thing, and that's it's $15, whereas VTuber Plus is $5. So, yeah. Yeah, and honestly, I'm gonna be quite honest. If $10 makes or breaks your ability to use a program for streaming, don't spend anything and wait. So TITS has more. TITS has different. That's probably what I was most trying to get to. Is TITS lets you do 2D and 3D, but all your options basically involve throwing things at people. Whereas VTuber Plus allows you to do some goo effects and things like that. So, let me pull it up and sort of walk through it. I mean, this game seems to be going along quite well, so we're waiting for... Wait, what's the tailor shop supposed to be producing now? Well, it only does that if I tell it to, so... Okay. Let's get back here. That's not what I... Wait, what? Okay. Alright. Uh... Yes. Yes. You've got more adjustment options with your settings. You can change to whether like your model is left-handed or right-handed. It's important for one of the things. This is if you throw enough stuff at the model, there's actually a health bar. And if you throw enough stuff at it, it takes a while. You can ragdoll out completely. One of my biggest problems with it, though, is if you use it, your endpoint is VTuber Plus. Your rendering is VTuber Plus. The whole thing. So there is a way to cheat. So what I did to cheat is I have an avatar that's a chroma key avatar. So literally doesn't work. That doesn't show up. So let's see. Go to main decontamination post, blah blah blah. Okay, so literally if I wanted to, I could run VTuber Plus and overlay it on top of the tits thing, and the stuff that comes through with tits would come through on this. And that's one way of doubling things down. It does give you that. The problem I have with VTuber Plus is sometimes the updates just seem to break things, and I'm not really sure why. The ragdolling stuff is okay, but you really have to get a lot of things. Honestly, I haven't looked. Well, Citrus, you know how to avoid ads. It's really simple. It's called subscribing. If you subscribe, then you won't have to deal with ads. Okay. Ah, all right. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Emmy. Um, but yeah, in terms of it, I mean, a lot of this, I could recreate something similar using tits. This thing is something that, well, yes, it does do weird. Yeah, you can literally break that model's neck with it. There's also a feed function which only works if your model has all of the appropriate blend shapes, and then you have to take the hand and actually take the hand to the mouth. So it literally can't be done sometimes. So, I mean, things like the boxes and stuff are neat, but I could do that with tits by just having a sticks to model option. If VTuber Plus added 2D model functionality, it would probably be an all-in-one program. The problem is it isn't, and it doesn't. So if you're like me and looking at having both as an available option for your viewers, something weird happened. Okay, let's add that decontamination poster they're asking for. There we go. So let's bring that around. Let's actually stick that across here. Okay. VTuber Plus doesn't send to VCFace, it receives from VCFace. So, quite literally, if you want to use VCFace as your main output thing, your option is tits. If you want to do a 2D model, your option is tits. If you don't care about either of those things, and you're fine with how VTuber Plus renders your model, then VTuber Plus is a perfectly functional program. It's what I was using for quite a while. The reason I switched to using tits is I wanted the 2D model as an option. And if anyone hits the redeem, you'll get to see it. But but the other thing is, while you can import stuff into VTuber Plus, it's a complicated process that involves the use of Unity. Whereas you've done an import with tits for Emmy, so I'm sure you can know how much easier it is to just be able to import models using it, using tits. So, yeah. And I love saying tits, so I'm going to keep saying tits because that's the name of the program. It's tits. Oh, okay. Well, that's neat. Oh, apparently someone dropped dead. Okay. So we need to build a cemetery. Are they a resource? No, they're not a resource. Damn, are they food? No. Okay. So yeah, big community. Whoa, that's a big building. Put it there. Okay, fine. Where are we gonna put it? Cool. Oh no, I don't want to do that because that'll overlay with other stuff I have up there. Oh god damn it. Why'd you have to die and not be good? Okay, so we're gonna put you up there. Where are you building? Okay, so we're going to move this, and we're going to tell this to work there. There's another game I've got on Steam, Surviving the Aftermath. This is very similar. Surviving the Aftermath has a very much a... There comes a point where if you haven't done the right basics, you will fail. So... Oh, I need to sign someone to be a mortician. Okay, there we go. Now, reading between the lines on some of the things here, people are saying that about this game too, so... And it's not been raining. Okay, can I just build an irrigation system, guys? seriously. Production limit. Okay. Oh, we're doing. That's what they have supplied there. Do I have, like, food storage or anything? Okay, yes. We can build a campfire or a pub. Upgrade our town center. Okay, so do I click that and then click upgrade? Yes, I do. Okay, there we go. And I had all the materials. Looks just like a campfire. Okay. Great. Medical buildings. Medical buildings. Medical buildings. Okay, so let's produce a medical facility. That thing is huge. Medic! So what have I got here? Oh, that's a gun scrap thing, so... Actually, do I need that? Or can I just... Can I just use the scrapyard instead? I think I can use the scrapyard instead. So that one's not doing anything there. This one here, we can get rid of that one. So I take that, and that's that. Okay. That's slowly growing food. That's good. Wait, what? Oh, we can specify what we want them to do. Oh, okay. And they should be producing medicine. Okay. Yes, good, got it. Okay, can I just upgrade it? No, I can't. Oh, we should build a shelter, right? Because shelters are special. You know what? Fine. Yes. You can live in our, yellow subroutine. Tent farm thing. Don't understand what the production limit things are. Oh, okay. It's interesting. Okay. And here we're producing just medicine. So, okay, good. Yeah, yeah. How's that shelter going? Still need to get wood there. Okay. Alright. got going on here? Okay. That's it. Okay. And is the shelter built yet? Oh, it's got all the stuff finally. Okay, there we go. So we'll build that pretty quickly now. Okay. Okay. So we slap the shells together. Hunting lodge can bring things. So okay. Wow, this is a really, really long tutorial. Actually, really makes me worried about the game quality. And we are going to put its base. And then I need to set somebody as a hunter. It can be a hunter. Okay. What's it complaining about? Oh, they've reached the production limit. It reached the production limit. Okay. What's that? Oh, and the contamination is gone from up here. Oh, that's because I built a building over the top of it. Okay. What is that? Did we release paper lanterns? I think we released paper lanterns because somebody passed on. Oh, that's really nice. But I'm going to put that to be here, so... That's a really nice way of handling things. Oh my goodness. Oh no. 15 children, 46 adults, some unassigned. Okay, so let's go and assign some of these. Hmm. Okay. Probably don't need anywhere near that many, but you know. Is the hunter actually doing anything? No, because I'm not set up. Okay, so let's change our production limits. Production limits, there we go. I'm going to... So is that just basic foodstuffs? If so... Okay. So what do we got going here? Yeah, cool, fine. Okay, now we're actually collecting some of that stuff. Can I upgrade this again? Not yet. Damn it. Oh, inventory limit. Oh, okay. Interesting. I know I'm getting less children. That's because they're becoming adults. And when they become adults, they stop being children. Okay. That's how age works. Honestly, if all we do is get through this tutorial today, I'm going to be sort of happy. It will be interesting to try a playthrough. Okay. Yes, got it. When wild animals be captured, they can be brought to a pasture. You want to set up a pasture and assign a herder. Okay. Where am I likely? So I've had water down here frequently, so I'm going to set up a pasture down here this time. So, pasture. How close to there can I do it? Okay, so if we go up one, there. Okay. So that's that, and then I'm going to assign a herder. Reset my hunting lodge to capture. Assign a type of animal as soon as I have captured one. Okay. What's this? Is that clouds? That's clouds. Okay, that's where the rain could fall. Okay. That's nice. Oh, there's more kids. Isn't that nice? We are at -2, so I need to build some housing. Okay. Let's see. Let's slap them on this side. And then maybe, people will start taking over. I do find that entertaining. Oh, look at the baby. Not built yet. Wait, that's a -8? Oh. Okay. Wow, okay. And there we've got rain happening up here on our thing. So can I choose a type of animal? Two animals. Okay. Okay. You are to build a temporary storeroom and have loads. Roads built. Yeah, okay. You know, the stuff that I was trying to do earlier, but apparently you guys decided that nobody needed to actually know how to do anything useful, so okay, I put that there. And then we're going to build some roads. Oh yeah. Yeah. Is it a cluster of roads, or is it not a very interesting road? I know, bad puns are us. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, okay. Oh, okay, so, yeah, we'll have to get that in place. First off, we are going to put that in. We're going to build the roads that I intended when I was laying out the city. Okay, so market is going to be huge. Of course it's going to be huge. I hope it would be anything but huge. So I'm going to slap the market down there. There. Up to there. There. Now it's surrounded. Okay, so we're going to need to take this and we add... Oh! Neat. Do we have enough here yet? We need to get at least 2 of the animals. Okay. We only have 1. How many more people can I have? I can have more. There. Let's try there. Alright. Oh. Oh, okay. So I could do that. Or I could build my settlement in a way that I don't need to do that. But apparently I'm required to do that for this, so okay, fine. I'm going to put 2 of them in. Oh, and I need to assign one more logistics person. Highly contaminated rain. Of course. That's actually something that I think a lot of people get confused about when it comes to radiation. My understanding is that radiation is only an impact. Radiation in the atmosphere and falling as contaminated rain only happens within the first few years of a fallout event. So you shouldn't actually see contaminated radiation, contaminated rain years after a fallout event, because there's none of that particulates in the atmosphere anymore. It's rained out prior to that. At least that's what the models suggest would happen. The new food station stores are now able to supply themselves with food directly on site. If the settlement is supposed to grow even further, you think about whether you want to provide additional food stations. Okay. Oh, and I could build a water point, so I could also have them doing that. So let's build the water point that you asked for. Okay. Let's slap them on that side. And extend the road up to there. Oh, I like this little worker dude moving along quite quickly because it's just a regular road. Okay. Oh, and I need to make more of them just blah, 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 blah. Okay. I know somebody died. See? Goodbye. Okay, how many do I have? Okay. So I don't know how many deer I have. Yes, but I don't want that. I want this. Okay, I do have 2 of them. Alright. I think I'm going to build another pasture. Food is not my problem. Okay. So I'm going to take this guy, just set it to hunting and capturing, and leave it do its thing. Actually, I am going to build that. I'm going to build that. Where's food? Pasture. There we go. I should have another. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Herder. There we go. That's that. And I'm going to build another water thing. Yeah, because that one's pretty close to full. So let's build another one of them. Oh, hey, Amara. How you doing? I hope you are doing well. We had Spirit. Who did we have drop by? Spectre. Vector Angel of Vengeance dropped by, said hi, said they would be letting people know that they're basically at least able to get online once in a while. So it was good to see them. And how have you been doing? Is it under logistics? Yes, it is. Go. There we go. It's been a lot, but good. Yeah. Catching up on sleep is good too. It is good. Okay, so I can take this guy, and we're going to set that to be wild boar. And then that will mean we have actually a random supply. And we need more water stored here. So let's see, that one's full. Need more wood for that. Oh, do we have? Yep, thanks, game. I have slightly different throw me emotes now. Throw me? Throw things at me emotes. Like I have this one. Okay. Is that? Yes, I have the throw a single item, throw a few items, and throw all of the items. And I also have another remote in my list that will switch me out to my 2D model. Oh, I need to build a weather station. There we go. Weather station. Holy heck! I thought I'm building a weather station, not like... Oh my god. Okay, where is the scrapyard? There it is. You're gonna come over here. Yeah, I need some space up there, because this is my forest areas. How many people are working here? Let's get some more. Wow. How are we doing in our... Ew. Ew. Okay. We upgraded? Not yet. We have other resources. Oh, right. I was gonna set that out there. That one's done. It's done. So that one's can't be upgraded. Be upgraded. Production level reached. Production limit reached. Oh, so if I have resources that need decontamination, they can't be. Okay. So we're going to try moving this to here. What does this guy want? Is that just saying that I can't do any more? Yeah, production level limit reached. Okay. I guess I use some water. Okay, that's good. Get rid of that. That's up to speed. Yeah. Well, if she, just to be clear, if she doesn't want to stream for whatever reason or doesn't feel like streaming, then that's fine. I hope she gets rest and such as she needs to. Okay, so I'm not switching the seat out. That's fine. That is full of water. This one is starting to fill up. It just finished manufacturing. Yes. Good. That one, I should turn the filtration on. Yes, I know you require coal, but I have a place to make coal. It's around here somewhere. There, the charcoal kiln, right there. Don't need any of these or any of that. Okay. It's gone. It's gone. Yes. Okay. Good. So that means I can go to that thing that was flashing a moment ago. The weather station. There we go. And I can slap that in. And then proceeding to clear the building area. Radiation removal. Okay. Right, because, yeah. Because, yeah. Okay, where is that then? Let's hire another. Yeah. Hello, Gantz. How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. How have you been? I noticed you're not planning on streaming this evening. I hope your day has been going well, okay, otherwise? Okay. By covering our crops and how we can protect ourselves by covering our crops and that. We ought to attend to collect the rain we run. Not only humidifies the soil, it can also be collected via rainwater collectors. It's a already built thing. We would decide what kind of circumstances would make us want to cover our rain collectors. Okay. So let's just pause. Oh yeah, spacebar did that. Okay, so yeah, okay. So if we go to our water and we go to our rainwater collector, and I'm going to put them right near our, oh wait, that's too big. Oh wait, there we go. Going to put them there. And then we'll set up what that can do. And yes, the remove radiation thing is a little annoying, but we have a lot of radiated soil. Yes, my tits are lovely. Thank you. And you're doing good, just planning some stuff. Okay, thing, and even if they were in protected coating, make sure that it's as possible. Can have our crops covered. But once they've been covered, we need an irrigation plan. Yes. Okay. So, yes. I very much wanted to switch over to using TIDS because it lets me have my 2D model out, which I've mentioned a number of times, and nobody seems all that interested to see models. So I guess they don't get to see it. Wow. Okay. Oh, I see. Okay, so right in. Oh wow. Okay. Let's leave it collect water because you know I have the ability to create huge amounts of charcoal. Go jump in a call. We'll be looking for a bit. Yeah, of course. Thank you for stopping by. Um. Okay, that's done. Yeah, we'll leave that there. Oh, there we go. So we want that on low. Okay, and so that should. Okay, so actually, if we leave that on. I guess produces contaminated resources right now, but won't always produce contaminated resources. Being able to auto cover that stuff, that's neat. Okay. Oh, wait, I need to apply someone to there. Okay, alongside their environmental hazards such as droughts and that. Okay, that's fine. That's that. We gotta take this. Okay, so let's leave that there. We're not going to pull from the rainwater collectors. We're only going to pull from the water towers. Actually, wells. Where is my well? I thought I had a well. Didn't I have a whole lot of water? Oh yeah, I do. And there's no contamination in it, so the well's fine. Okay, so wells are fine. That's fine. During drought, regularly. Yeah, okay. So we can just do that. I'm going to go with that. Okay. Oh, that's our water point. So we're going to turn that off. We're going to leave it pulling from the water tower only, and we're going to specify there. So that's there. Oh, and if we put a well down, wow, okay, fine. Be that way. See you back out. Okay. That's that one, that's that. That's that. Okay. So it's mostly going to pull from there and there. It's not going to pull from those things. It's not going to pull from there. It's going to be uncovered when it's not contaminated water. So I'll turn that back on. That should allow the water to get pulled out of there. Oh, there. Oh, and it's a bit of a drought, so... Oh, I see. That is very much a... Only the things that are within reach. Okay. I'm going to take a cultivated field. I'm going to extend it to here. I'm going to choose this as the seed. And that sucked. I bet that just dumped a whole bunch of contamination all over everything. Yep, I was right. Okay. Okay. So we need to set somebody else's, wow. Okay. So we're going to right-click, 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 right-click. 10 more builders. Teacher in. Save game. Auto save, Civity. Do that in a bit. There we go. Oh. Okay. So we're going to need to build a research station and all that. Supposedly there was a... Oh, priorities. Okay, repairing should always come first. I'm just gonna start with that. Repairing should come first. Okay. So what do I need to do now? Build a research station. That's gonna be under here. Oh wow, that's big, but not as big as some. I mean, not as big as it could be. Okay, so we're gonna add a researcher in. I'm gonna need 3 eventually, but that's fine. I'm going to start by... there. Now we're also going to take an irrigation plant here. I'm going to take that guy, I'm going to set it up. Oh, I can't do that yet. And I'm going to take this one here. There. So that'll distinctly cover our areas. So good, that's done. That's being added. That's pulling from the well or water tower. Yes. Still being built. So's that one. Okay. Alright, that one's done, so we're going to turn off that guy. We don't want to come from rainwater collectors, we only want to pull from those. So, yep. Oh. We'll let this get constructed. Okay, so add more there. Turn those off. I actually want to set these to low as well. So what I really just want to do here is enough to keep the plants alive, because we're doing pretty well otherwise. Here, we've got irradiation from the water. That's because we're using the wrong water sources. So that's something I'm going to fix right now. That level of micromanagement is silly. Okay. That can pull water from there and there. So I think what I'm going to do is tell this to cover those whenever we actually have any sort of radiation in the air. Well, actually, I guess I should have that set to... Can I set it in the middle? No, I can only set it there. Okay. Allow that to collect that way. That's going to collect from there. We're collecting there. I'm going to bring in another water facility thing here. So throw in a water tower. And then I'm going to throw in a well. I really don't want to run out of water, because water is life. Okay, let's go back here. I need to assign more people to the research station. There. I think I'm going to... pull down the... Oh no. 3 settlers now, okay. So we'll add that, add that, and that, so there. Okay. So I need to do some research. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay. Oh. All right. Um, oh, wow. All right. Electronics. Bunch of things. Paved roads. Oh, there's the refinery. Okay. So I need to research that. And then I need to build a recycler to build electronics. Okay. there. Okay, so we don't have that available, but we do in fact have a jetty. Turn on the water filtration, and then that should... Yes, now we no longer have radiated water coming in. Good. That's going to bring charcoal all the way down to here for me. Yay! I think somebody died. So I think I want to upgrade to paved roads as well, because I can. They got all the resources they needed. So the one resource that doesn't seem to be renewable is any form of scrap, so... If there are mines or anything else, that would be beneficial to know. Oh, a bunch of interesting locations. Don't see anything with mines. Okay. So I need to build a recycler for that. So let's tell it that we want to build another recycler. Okay, so we're out of space for... Oh, that's because I put that there. Okay. So I'm going to put this guy in... Actually, we're putting that there. And then let that run. Okay. There we go. Yep, got that. We're going to tell that to go to electronics. Okay. Yep. Okay. So we're going to open that. Salt collectors are a thing that we can build. Batteries are a thing that we're going to need to build. So I'm going to start that one going, and then I need to build something else, which is salt collector. Wow, okay. It's... God damn it. Why are all these buildings so huge? Why are they so big? Okay. Alright. What are we looking at now? Okay. Yeah, food and water production are pretty easy. Metal and scrap and that are going to be the things that are going to be the biggest bottleneck I can see. Unless there's a way to add to that production chain. Okay, so that's out of materials. Unless I can add to that production chain, I'm not really going to be able to utilize stuff properly. So, oh. Okay. Interesting. What have I got going on here? Wait for the save game to finish. Boop, 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 boop. Do that. What's this complaining about? Storage capacity is running low. Okay. Why, yes. I was a step ahead of you on that. And I'm going to bring that road through there. And while that's going, I'm also going to tell our technology people to build some more stuff. So what we're going to do here is we're going to upgrade paper rack. Okay, so we can only build one thing at a time, we can't queue. Okay. That is to be expected, actually. Okay. So we're gonna pause for a sec. He said we could upgrade this, so let's set that to upgrade. And then we're going to see where we can connect. Is there any... Doesn't look like there's any reason to bring power all the way down to them. We do want to try to hook up power to the people over there. Now, why are you running with radiation? Contains contaminated resources. The berries are slightly radiated. Okay. Cancel that construction. That should actually let us have full power to everywhere in a bit. So how are we doing with that? That seems fine. Yep. Okay. Is there a way to access the research tree quickly? Yes, there is. Oh, need a bunch of scrap. Okay, so here's this guy. Yeah, you can collect all that scrap. All right. Check a few things. So yeah, running a little overtime today. Being happy to do so. We had some good conversations earlier. And let me quickly so yes. Yes, I know. Let's build an expedition station. Okay, so let me pause that. All right. So I think we will continue this next week. And let me see who we've got out there in the wider internets. Oh, the streaming thing. Okay. You know what? Let's do something a little different today. We've given a bunch of people that I know fairly well attention previously, so this time, why don't we give someone who I know of, but I haven't really watched their channel that much. At the moment, they're playing a game that I don't know if anyone here has ever seen before. Yes, my level of sarcasm is high again. It's a little game called Kirby and the Forgotten Land. So, hope you enjoy hanging out with this other person. So let me actually switch to here. Yep. Hope you enjoy hanging out with them. The name is Semisin, and yeah, they seem to be doing so well. I guess we'll find out how many Waddle Dees they wind up catching. All right. So catch us all on Tuesday, and I will yeah, see you around.